11th grade, he went to Tottenham School, and I went to St. Patrick's House. Then we met at the Bible studies in a home in Fiamma, the Dagados resident. So and we were attending that church, and that home was one of the seer group. So we became very, very active in that seer group with the late Reverend Frank and his wife, our Dagado, our Frank. And then a year later, we spent a night somewhere. He and I spent a night somewhere because we used to sleep on the same bed. We wanted to paint one of our sisters' houses. After painting all day, all evening, we decided to spend the night. So on our way home on a Sunday morning, Pastor Friday's wife, who is the pastor, who started Bethel. Then it was Bethel Full Gospel Church. She was picking flowers on the way. It was on a Saturday morning. Or Sunday morning. She was picking flowers to take to the church for the church decoration. And then she gave us a lift to the main road to get in the taxi and go home. It was at that time that she introduced us to Bethel, welcomed us to, invited us to Bethel Outreach Church. The following Sunday, I went, he didn't go. And I came out, told him about the church, that the church was a nice church, and I told him about Pastor Friday. And so to make a long story short, that's how we went to Bethel.
Again, I returned to Liberia in 1987 and began to work immediately with the Bethel Full Gospel Church. And Wolo, as we called him then, had recently become a part of that church, and so we met him in one of our services. I think it was probably a midweek service. I think it was a Tuesday night service, and he was, of course, much younger than he is now, though he still looks as good as he looked then. But it was clear that he and his friend, his buddy at that time, Pastor Musa Kofe, were people who had a passion for God, two young men who loved Jesus and who had a call upon their lives. And I remember at that very early stage, it was clear that Pastor Belleh had a very strong evangelistic thrust.
Had a truck that we call pickup in Liberia. We used to call it Samson. And that pickup, when Pastor Belleh is driving it with all the instruments in the back, the hair going so and going this way, and that was one of the funniest moments we always share, talking about Samson, that wonderful pickup Pastor Belleh had. But there's one thing, that's why I say he's a man of his own class. Despite the condition of the pickup, the hair going so so it didn't deter his desire for evangelism. It didn't deter his move to go out and win souls. He was always going out into the street corners, mounting the instruments and preaching the word of God.
The first day I met Pastor Belleh was in, the first time it was in 1990 when I met him. But then he had come from church. Bethel is a soul winning church. But then Pastor Johnson, at the time we called him, that bishop, he had preached and encouraged people to go out and win the lost at all costs, because that's our motto. And so he went in the area that I lived at the time, in Omatadi. He had on this short sleeve shirt with a bag and a necktie. So when he spoke to us, I thought, in fact, my cousins and I thought that he was a Geo with me. And so we said, well, my brother, thank you, but we are good and we don't want to hear anything that you have to say. So he said, well, I'm not a Geo witness, I'm from Bethel, but then I have never heard about Bethel. And he said, I'm from Bethel, and we're just going around telling people about the good news. And then he asked, are you born again? And it was like, born again. I have never heard that word before, because I was in the Methodist church and I never heard about born again. And so to let him go, or to get rid of him, we had some food. We're eating rather, and we said that, do you want to eat? And shyly he said, no, I don't want to eat, I'm fine. So okay. And we just made a lot of fun out of him. So he left.
moved to Robertson, the pastor of my first church. They walk in, and they eventually, matter of fact, I went for him. I risked my life, went for him on Double Road.
A new Pastor Belleh from Smith Notice, Rawafi, Magui County, Bethel Church during 1991. Mostly a new Pastor Belleh went to Bethel Cathedral, or Bethel Smith Notice, and he decided, because they went there displaced, and I was in Bethel Church. So he decided to marry.
Well, we met first of all back there in we're neighbors at the Matadi area, and he was an evangelist with the Better World Outreach. And as young evangelists, as usual, we just got connected that way. And one of the first things that attracted me to him is the sincerity and the openness and the commitment to what he believes in. So I said to myself, well, this is the right connection that I need, even as far back then as 28, 29 years ago.
I met Reverend Wolo Belleh in 1997 after I became First Lady of the Republic of Liberia. I was invited to visit with the Bethel family. At that point, we were in the small church, the mat church, on the side of the property, and I worshiped with them 3 or 4 times, and I became a regular visitor there. So it's been since 1997.
Bishop M. Wolo Belleh is a man of diverse gifting, a man that you can say so much about. But to summarize, I would say he is a man who is faithful, he's dedicated, he's committed, and he's a man who has exhibited what I would call a bulldog tenacity in achieving his dreams, his visions, and his goals in life.
Nation. Reverend Belleh happens to be God's general. We saw other generals retreating from the nation for greener pasture. Reverend Belleh refused to retreat. He still stood his ground until God brought him to where he is. So I saw Reverend Belleh when he was pushing that John car that day, those days, from EBDC time until now. When you look at what God is doing in his life, then know he's a true called servant of God.
Somebody who is humble in terms of fulfilling God's assignment. He's somebody who is pliable. I will use that word, pliable. He's somebody who was able to adjust in working with people on different dimensions of life and ministry.
I'm grateful that God has elevated him, and I want to congratulate him on his 50th birthday and 25 years of ministry. On top of that, he has been elevated as a bishop for the church in Liberia. I'm really proud of him. I believe that the scriptures say iron sharpens iron, and we sharpen each other over the years.
Oh, I want to say congratulations. I know you can make it. You know, he has the heart for the ministry and for the people of Liberia. So I know being a bishop will help him fulfill his dreams, because he won't even only be for the Cathedral now, he will be for the whole Liberia Diocese. And I know he can do a great job, because even last night we were discussing his position and what he can do to make it work for us. So I know he will be a great bishop, and Liberia will be blessed because of him.
Pastor Belleh, I want to let you know that as your father in the Lord, you made me very proud. I do remember many years ago when, just as a very, very young man, the Lord brought you our way, and you have been faithful to the Lord, and you've been certainly loyal to us over the years. You've never once done anything to make me ashamed. As you are being honored, I feel I'm being honored as well. I want to say to those who have decided to make this anniversary of your life and of your ministry special, that I am so glad that they did. Too often we take people such as you for granted. But I know that you've made many sacrifices over the years, and you've gone often without your own needs met for the sake of the church. And so you deserve this celebration. And as you're being celebrated, it's not just you, it's the one who is in you that is being celebrated as well. Because without Jesus, you could never have done what you have done, nor reached the level of success that you have reached. It is because of your faithfulness in little things that God continues to elevate you and make you ruler over much. I am convinced that your best years of ministry are still ahead of you. That the last 25 years have been a time of growing, of learning, of perfecting the gifts that God has placed in you. And so I'm excited about what your future is going to look like. I'm excited about the level of influence that God has given you in Liberia, and I believe He will increase that influence, not only in that nation, but in other nations. One of the best decisions, of course, you made after accepting Jesus was to ask Pastor Belleh to be your wife. I think she's been the perfect complement and helper for you. And so even as we celebrate you, I want to let you know I'm also celebrating Della for being the wife that she's been to you and the support that she's been not only to you but to us and to Bethel Wolo Irish Ministries family. May God grant you long life. May He add years to your life and life to your years. May He continue to renew your youth and keep you looking young and handsome always. God bless you, Pastor Belleh, and thank you, Della. Amen.
I want to be grateful to God first for all that He has done in and through Pastor Belleh's life, my husband, the father of my children. I'm very, very grateful seeing where Pastor Belleh came from to where he is now. I want to be grateful to God. Besides, I want to be grateful to Bethel, Bishop Johnson, Lady Grace Johnson, leaders that God has raised up within this ministry, those that have lifted up His hands. I want to say a big, big thank you, because had it not been for you, I don't know where we would have been today. So thank you so much. I take my hat off to you, and my prayer is that the Lord will increase you, because as you've lifted Pastor Belleh's hands, so God is going to lift your hands up to. May the Lord bless you, may the Lord increase you, may the Lord establish you, and may the Lord open great doors before you and honor you as you honor your pastor. God bless you, and I love you. Sweetheart, on a day like this, I want to say thank you. And I'm proud that I've been married to you, that God decided to put me in your life. And as you celebrate your 50th birth anniversary and 25 years of success in ministry, I want to bless God for you. I want to bless God that He has taken you a long way and He will continue to take you where He wants you to be. I want to bless God for the grace that He has placed upon your life. What a blessing being a father, being a husband, and then being a pastor for this great church. It got to be God. It has to be the Lord's doing, and I'm grateful. I love you. I appreciate you, and words are inadequate for me to say all that.
Happy birthday, Dad. I just want to say happy birthday. And I know that you turned 50, and I know this is a really huge landmark for you. But given the agenda of this week, this makes this birthday really huge. And I just want to congratulate you on becoming a bishop. I'm really proud and really glad to have had you in my life because a huge part of who I am today contributes to the role you play in my life, and I love you for that. I know I've missed a lot of birthday and celebration, but not being there today really saddens me. So I really wish I was there right now, but I know I will be seeing you guys soon. So once again, just want to say happy birthday, and I love and miss you guys. 안녕히 가세요. That's goodbye in Korean. Thank you.
What happened the time he was small?
Speaking in Belleh.
Oma? Nama dia ya? Dia you abu kala. Ega dulu.
She said when she born, pastor was high.
Jadi hari biju hari equality.
So that was kind of high thing you were doing before you came court.
That's right. Ma, I don't be there. A year quiet, they call me. They say it's so quiet. The block me. They say the case was better. The case was better. Say the block me. The star.
Ole ka musu pano e pele ke boto sa ensu na ina pele ke boto kuiwesu
na so hai e can play sa the car this are the car the car koi he when she da ma wa he tai hai